Canaan's Love, Sex and the Sabbath, Vivian the Other Mystery, Episode 02. Spankin, Paitan. Poem, Fantasy, Spankin Paitan. Narrator speaking, poetic talk between Satan and Shaddai concerning Michael's love life, or the lack thereof, however you want to look at it. Bon appetit.
Shaddai speaking. Satan, I knew Michael before he came into existence. White chick porn magazines were his early intimations. He wasn't a loose screw, and yet he wanted to screw. White chicks too, but for some reason Michael wanted more. He was not just seeking that kind of open door. Michael is wise, but at the same time commonsensically slow. Concerning his sex life, it seems he has nothing to show. Could Michael have made love? Yeah, he could have, but he was a picky dove. He had the mindset that if you choose and make a vow, you are stuck, and before God you must submit no matter how. There were few women that Michael was interested in, but he did not know how to set his gin. Like Peter, he said, Lord, we have tried all the night. Fish is out of sight. Cast the net on the other side. But not one fish I'll let you get by. Drop your net and follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men, you'll see. This Peter likes the female fishnet. What delicious. Cutie's delicious. Michael along with one of his brothers had a talk about women a lot. His brother said, who is this chick you're interested in? You're not known for relationship spin. He replied, her name is Dornica. Perhaps this is the one I could make love to sweeter. What you like about her, he replied. Michael said, I like him skinny though my baby will be inside. Oh, he said, you like an easy dish to break. Something compatible, not just synthetic and fake. Yeah, he said, I like her hair, and her beauty fair. I may be a bit fast, but she'll have my child. And yet she is not a woman wild. She has natural beauty. Beauty that apparently only I can see. Whether in love, or just infatuated. This is who Michael wanted to say he dated. Inexperienced with women. Not knowing that love is a sporting game. Michael, others just may be interested. And they may be more desperate than you. So you could say they instigated. A man would sometimes fight for his bride. But you caved inside. Michael did not know he was a jealous man. But it was all according to our plan. Maybe Dornica was interested. And the man he thought she was with, he have not properly investigated. He was the head of the Toastmasters Club, and Michael felt jealousy's tug. Confronting Dornica, he asked if there was something between him and her. She positively stated of course not, and it appeared to him that he still had a shot. Whether the voice belonged to Satan or of his own imagination, his feelings began to change. Some may say concerning love his heart was rearranged. Whether Satan, anti-Cupid, or just his mind stupid, he began to reconsider, and thoughts began to twitter.
Anonymous speaking, Michael, who she screwing? Ask yourself what you doing. She has something with the head of the club, and perhaps would give you two a rub. Listen, stop this fishing. Ain't a good woman in all the world. They will only take you for a swirl. Now, that man though bold is handsome, and he seemed to be holding her handsome. Is a woman really worth fighting for? Concerning them you should close the door. I suppose fish need water and a man need a woman. But they could come cloven. Cloven feet is what we often meet. The real Satan speaking, cut it out and stop using my voice. In women I want you to rejoice. Remember that you are a spy. For to this sect to pry, a girl of their sorts is a good cover. This is an opportunity worth the bother. These voices to slow down are imposters. I will tell you what to fosters. Wait, are you really considering love? I am warning you, don't be found with that kind of glove. Fitting into this congregation as one of them. I will send hell to you and them. We don't mind you marrying. Just don't marry Christ along with his Sabbath. Do this and I will be on you like a bad habit.
Shaddai speaking. So I guess Michael wants to marry. But to betray bride and church body is a tough burden to carry. Philosophies are different. But Michael is changing with certain principle upliftments. He wants to be true, and to Christ stick like glue. Angels and demons are fighting. On each side it's a bit frightening. Michael sees Dornica as the sweetest cutie. If he marries her he could be true to duty. But love for her and her church may make him less fond to the order's duty. This is only the beginning. Many sides, and all seeking to be the winning. Dornica is the first woman that Michael ever seriously assailed. Michael is becoming more human, and decency finds itself within the layers of the onion. But you know, Dornica was really the first of women who gave Michael their cell or work phone number. He called her. To do this, he did remember. In calling he said, "Hi there, do you know who this is?" She said, "This is Michael Sims. But are you calling for something personal or the biz?" He said, "I want small talk. And for us to be in a conversational lock." Talking to Dornica was easy. He felt comfortable at the beginning, and things went easy. There were times when he felt he was getting so close her love made him drunk. Rodman may have noticed. Michael expressed that he did love her, and he did know this. When Michael falls in love, a first sign is that his thinking goes. This is what all heaven knows. He is reprogrammable, and has the possibility of losing it full. He will forget all missions, and become most resistant. If he was ever to screw, everyone perhaps would see a different side too. If Michael was to screw, perhaps everyone would say, "Who knew? Him too." Sex perhaps would be as intoxicating as wine, and you could say that he would be without a spine. Keep alcohol away from children. Michael was a babe in relationships, but by going under he also left Satan's ship. Michael loved the way his name rolled off of Dornica's tongue. To hear her calling his name was his fetish, but jealousy did not let it. But when Michael saw Laverne, she reminded him of Coca-Cola. Her body curve wanted him to pop like soda. Back then at least her ass was perfect to spank. If he could get her he would have God to thank. It only crossed the mind, but at that time he was interested in Dornica. If it could work out, he doesn't need to know what's sweeter. Raspberries versus blackberries. Which will make a sweeter or stronger juice? Or would they both cook my goose? Satan, I see that you have brought along someone who sees you as a mentor, who is just as good as a tempter. Rude boy, what brings you here? Alongside Satan, what message do you bear?
Rude boy speaking. If Michael is looking for love, I can give him all kinds of tasty treats. To have him making love mellow and sweet, I will give him the main course and desserts, and more than just what flirts.
Shaddai speaking. Rude boy Michael used to be a fan of pies. The kind you are offering will no doubt make his pencil rise. I am God and cannot be moved by such. But I have eaten a little Debbie. The raisins sprinkled, not too heavy. Rude boy, what is your favorite pie? Don't be silent. You of all in this area should be whose response is most inviolate.
Rude boy speaking. Coming from someone else, this may be no cause for concern. With you, no one could discern, but I will give my best answer. It will be the little Debbie chocolate Swiss roll. It more fulfills my goal. The color issue between white and black are in one bundle. Concerning sex, there should be none disgruntled. I refuse to let go of black or white. To me, all are my delight. I like the Swiss as well as the American Debbie. Concerning sex, race, or nationalism are not my enemy. Maybe virginity. Michael never tasted what we could offer, and maybe that is an offense. In our eyes, if he loses his virginity, he more relents. He's 42, and is yet to screw. A female driver could be a tool for this MacGyver. He'll indeed get screwed, and we will have him like new. Shaddai, do you still hold to just the little Debbie?
Shaddai speaking. Here you erred. I never said it was my favorite. That should be clear. I said I ate one, which to me though was much fun. With me it matters who made the pie, and just not the ingredients I spy. Made in love. It is a pie with the seal of the dove. As it pertains to race, I don't just call anyone mine. They have to obey me and the ladder of obedience climb. Solomon building the temple would have been more appreciated than David. My commandment-keeping elect are those who have the Sabbath integrated. With me doing what I said is more important. Else I find the pie a bit rotten. Maybe you can handle it, but I won't have one bit. It is better to obey than to sacrifice, to hearken than the fat of rams. I put this above nation and clan. See 1 Samuel 15 verse 22. Rude boy, I knew what I was doing when I withheld pie from Michael. Especially white pie included, which I did not permit at any cycle. Heaven does not believe in prejudice, but we held back white pie judicious. If we didn't, Michael would have had more than his serving, which to angels would have been a bit unnerving. Born in a black country, and yet so close to white man's land, where pie is abundant as much as his Bahama sand. White chicks are this black man's weak spot, which he likes a lot, but Michael knows not enough his weakness for this sugary sweetness. Therefore heaven became a white supremacist, keeping away that treat and kind of kiss. Rude boy, Satan and yourself watch a lot of movies. I have something for you to see. Remember a movie called Life that came out around the time of 1999, which many say was fine. The scene from that clip I will share depicts Michael's want for pie, and heaven's denial of it despite his cry. Watch. Gabriel, play the clip.
Smell that?
Yeah, I smell something.
Smells good, right?
Yeah, you know, I think maybe we should go to another place. I'll be honest, ain't really very
Are you kidding? Tell me you don't want one of these pies right here, right over here.
The pies look good, Carl, but I kind of lost my appetite when I came in here. My appetite just left.
Good afternoon, Billy. We'd like some coffee and a couple of slices of pie.
How do you know my name is Billy?
Well, it says it right there on your shirt.
If you boys can read so good, how come you missed that sign on the door over there?
Oh, that sign on the door that we just... How come we didn't see that sign and say no colors allowed, Chloe? We just rushed in, we was really hungry, so we kind of missed that. But we see it now, so bye.
Look,
Come on,
man,
let's
we've
go.
been traveling all day.
Yeah, let's go.
All we want is some coffee, a couple of slices of pie. Is that all right?
No, these are whites-only pies.
But do you have any Negro pies?
Hey, Claude, come on now. This woman ain't got the recipe to no Negro pie. Where would she get that recipe? Another establishment we can get us some pie or something. Come on, how far is the next town?
35 miles.
Yeah, come on, let's way out
I'm not driving no 35 miles to get no pie. Lady, ma'am, okay? Now, we want some pie, okay? We are hungry, okay? We want, Billy, we want some pie.
Let me take care of this.
Why somebody got to die because you want some pie?
Let me take care of it.
That's...
Look here, look. We from New York. My name Ray Gibson, okay? Let's talk turkey. How much it gonna cost to turn one of them white-only pies into nigger pie?
How about I turn y'all into nigger pie?
So you say about 35.
35 miles.
Okay, maybe find another establishment down the road, where, we won't have a problem. Yeah, I ain't no white folks so serious about pie now.
Rude boy speaking. Shaddai, you ain't given Michael Negro nor white pie. Explain that, Ty.
Shaddai speaking. Rude boy, we both know what kind of pie is being withheld. Knowing Michael, it perhaps will put him under a spell. Do you remember Dorn's pie he could have had? It ended only a bit sad. He only saw Dornica smiling, and decided to get braces, also extracting 4 of his teeth, where heaven was not sighting. Did he have a proper need? No, it was just for Dornica's show. Heaven read a lot in that, though not surprised. White chicks being a problem is no lie. Until Michael could learn vital lessons, there will not be one slice. Try as he might. But then again, rude boy, you want to talk turkey. To see what turns instead of the locksmith's key. You will get him into trouble, where he would pay double. Michael should not feel sorry that he has not have any for so long. Rude boy, out of everyone else curiosity, what kind of pie would you give Michael if he was to go along? I speak American pie. Is it apple, pecans, berries, or pumpkin? Because I know you tend to be something. Each represent skin tone as well as character. What do you think you would find better?
Rude boy speaking. Shaddai, let's not guess at this. Order someone to cook, and I will tell you what kind of an hook. Rodman, his associate, has a sister called Louise. Either she or her daughter can cook to help tell us what kind of keys. We will read his mind and see what he thinks fine. Not that I am master, but we will stop here, and heaven will order some meals we prepare. There is prayer meeting tonight. We will catch him then before gone out of sight.
Shaddai speaking. Do so, and I will give you the ability to read his mind, for you to use as a sign.
Narrator speaking. We are now back in time, and it is now Wednesday, November 26th, 2025, sometime after 9 p.m. after prayer meeting service, when Michael runs into Rodman's sister. She walks up to him and explains that she have a set of treats for him to try out, for which she or her daughter made. Rude boy has his glasses, pen and paper in hand, as well as his thinking cap on, as he reads Michael's mind in the process of all of this. Louise gives him a small cut slice of apple pie as a starter. Michael thinks that was all that he was getting and speedily eats it, but somewhere in the middle of it he thinks about how cautious he must be when eating anything offered. Michael knows that milk, eggs, cheese, butter, and flesh meats tend to cast an uncontrollable urge or spell of horniness upon him. He says it is but a small slice and can do no harm. But after he is finished, he is offered another slice, which was pumpkin. Michael is no chef, and he does not question if it is healthy, but more so the side effects of dairy and items upon him. As not to upset Louise, Michael only nibbles the pie at this point just for the sake of tasting, perhaps to the great displeasure of Rude Boy. Slice after slice of different kinds of pie are offered, and Michael but gives a taste test of each, thanking Louise that she had him in mind to make such an offer. Michael takes the remaining pies that he nibbled home, but does not eat it further. He is afraid of the spell that animal products put him under, as it was a horrible ordeal with the passions he struggled with, especially as a virgin. He would like to eat as he pleased, but he knows that this is not possible to do, as well as to control his passions the same time. In any event, his favorite was a cross between the apple and pumpkin. Michael liked the pumpkin's rich, smooth, strong taste along with its sun-tannish color. The apple was unique in its own way, with its seasoning to bring out its flavor, though more sallow compared to pumpkin. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But the pumpkin seed could also make good feed. Rude Boy heads back to heaven with his findings.
Shaddai speaking. Well, Rude Boy, what are your findings? And perhaps from there we can start some planning. How did it go? Present all you have to show.
Rude Boy speaking. Shaddai, it's a cross between apple and pumpkin. But I did notice something. At first he quickly ate. But somewhere along the line he held back on the others that came late. But your providence made him at least to taste. But the fact that he only tasted I did hate. I wanted every bit to be taken in. And he only did gin. But I suppose it was enough. For our kind of stuff. To me the apple pie represents the ordinary white chick. Chicks for which he would flip. The right kind of seasoning represents the kind of woman she is. Whether or not he could make her his. You were right, because without thinking he immediately reached out. But only after eating hung in doubt. I watched Michael all his life. And I know what excites him just right. I laid out a slew of porn for him in past days. And he only watched white porn, which to us did pay. I did encourage Ebony. But he was not as interested to see. We agreed that before he repent. The white porn we will not relent. It flowed like water. And we were happy and nothing bothered. But we did notice that he fell in love with the ebony chicks. But none did fit. They were to his mind at least never interested. That and he had no money for them invested. That's a big thing. And that is needed even for a fling. I think we should wager somehow if he is surrounded by white chicks. If he would give you the flip. The Bahamas has small pickings. Compared to other countries that are more fitting.
Shaddai speaking. Well, Rude Boy, do you want me to move him? He likes his home and country. And you would have me to uproot him for honey?
Rude Boy speaking. Shaddai, we did worse to Job. Not that you are deaf, but bend the earlobe. If you do this, we will stoop to something off the record. Give us something better.
Narrator speaking. Rude Boy and Shaddai stops talking outwardly, but uses their minds to communicate. For which everyone did hate. They wanted to know. But there was no show. But at the end of it all, Shaddai agreed that if Michael should agree to his own accord to go to the United States instead, all would be clear. But it would have to be his choice. Else in the decision the side of heaven will not rejoice. Shaddai agrees with Rude Boy that the Spirit Lord Secretary will talk to Michael's heart to consider this if he should so choose. And to have faith, though in the situation it seems he would lose. The current day and time is Thursday, June 4th, 2026 at 4:13 p.m. when Michael is penning this. He is impressed to go to the States, but is not sure if he should or could, seeing that America is not exactly welcoming of foreigners during this time's history. Traveling is a major issue, and there seem to be contentions always happening within the States, which make Michael a bit reluctant. He agrees with the Spirit that only if he wants to see him there, that would be completely his choice and call. He would not go there to experience a fall. Michael is penniless. Broke. That, and he is labeled as a retard, which the branding of his situation makes it seem to be unlikely that his case would be accepted for entry. He left it completely up to God. America has more fertile soil and benefits, and he would like home life there on the countryside. He was initially thinking about moving to the outer islands of the Bahamas, but for other reasons was never able to do this. His case seems hopeless. He could only wait. The scene goes back to heaven at this present time.
Shaddai speaking. Well, the Spirit did speak to him and made it his choice. He agreed, but only on the grounds that if it is our will we would let this take place, but he has no means and a bad branding. All else is off the record, as Michael does not know exactly our minds.
Rude Boy speaking. Shaddai, why are you so afraid? Does heaven fear?
Shaddai speaking. Yes, indeed we do. Which is why we take precautions. Even prophets fall. Even if he was Moses.
Rude Boy speaking. Shaddai, no worries. For those who followed previous episodes, it is of special note that Chung Su is dead. Your Felix is safe.
Narrator speaking. Everyone laughs.
Shaddai speaking. You know, Rude Boy, I would continue the story about Jeddah and Chung Su that branches as far back as Thoughts and Poems 69, Sex, and the Sabbath Part 12, Sandalin's Nut House Part 01, all the way to this very episode. Where I left off is that Jeddah killed Chung Su by a rifle shot with a bullet to the head. The powers that be let Jeddah go free, but the Triad Society that Chung Su was a part of left a threatening message to Jeddah exclaiming that they would either murder her or her son Felix one day. Give it time. Jeddah lives in fear, and for a time, leaves the Rose Kingdom along with Felix. She left the business of Jet's earthen in the hands of her husband, who goes by the name of Hale. Hale was a man that specialized in donut making. But the thing is, only a few like Jeddah took to his strange recipes. Hale's name was derived from the word holy. Hale was not exactly from the Rose Kingdom, but came from a place outside of time and space itself. No one really knows his true origins, as his age, not even the gods can tell. It is assumed by some it is unlimited, which to most makes no sense. All of Hale's donuts are based on sacred decalogue, which are a list of things you should and should not do, but he primarily named them donuts. Like Jeddah, he had a failing business, but leaguing together, they became a force. It was agreed by Jeddah and Hale that Felix must leave for his protection at least until he comes of age, and then return. The sands of time rolled on, and after a period of 20 years Jeddah returned with Felix, when he was around the age of 25. Felix returns and feels a bit secure. He associates with those in the kingdom, but his eyes falls upon a flower. A girl by the name of Debbie. Debbie was sweet and well-meaning, but it so happened that she made Felix's mother to fear when he brought her home to her. Felix never saw Chung Su before apart from when Jeddah shot her in the head, and she flew dead out of uncertainty in their dog. She was not recognizable. It so happened that the girl Felix fell in love with bore the spitting image of Chung Su. At first, when Felix walked through the door with her, she almost had a heart attack, but later realized it was a different woman. But she feared even more as Debbie began to speak. She sounded just like Chung Su when she spoke. Could you call it bad karma? It seemed that she was Chung Su's visible reincarnate. Jeddah seemed confused, and Felix discerned this. Jeddah took him aside into a secluded place and said, I don't like this one, Felix. Felix knew that Jeddah was especially disturbed by a certain bad breath from people who ate at Chung Su's. He tells her mom, I don't smell anything. She seems pure. I smelt roses and lilies and nothing like pussy or hippo. I think that she really is kosher. Jeddah then freaks out while Felix tries to calm her down. He says, Mom, you're overreacting, there is nothing to fear. We were never ones to judge by sight, but by what really is. Calm down. Look, talk with her and converse. I brought her here for you to discuss issues and things with her. I want you to get to know her. Do this for my sake. She pleaseth me well. Jeddah consents to converse with Debbie. Listen as they talk. As Jeddah tries to constrain herself listening to Debbie speak with the voice of Chung Su.
Jeddah speaking. Debbie, do you know how to cook? If so, what kind of meals can you provide for a family?
Debbie speaking. I am a nutritionist, but I cater more to the vegan and/or holistic lifestyle, especially around the area of eating. I don't believe in the death of animals, nor do I believe just anything should be eaten. I believe in strict temperance, and one must master not only his loins but his diet.
Jeddah speaking. Do you really believe that?
Debbie speaking. It's my job, duty, and occupation.
Jeddah speaking. And you never prepared pussy for someone to eat? Not even once.
Narrator speaking. There is a long and eerie pause as both Felix and Debbie blush tremendously, but Jetta was as serious as the heart attack she was having. Debbie speaking. Exactly what kind of pussy are we referring to? The Chinese across the street or my personal to-do?
Jetta speaking. Maybe both, but more so the latter.
Debbie speaking. I am not trying to be rude or anything, but for some reason I don't think that you exactly like me for some reason. I may have had a little of a past, but who hasn't? Narrator speaking. As explained in other episodes, Jetta and a select few have special powers. Some powers kick in at times of distress or need and is not always freely used, but can be selective at selective moments. On and off as part human and demigods, Jetta and Hale had the ability of telepathy to actually read the mind at times. They never shared that fact even with Felix. They thought it best. But let us continue.
Jetta speaking. What did you feed Felix?
Debbie speaking. For sure it wasn't pussy. Narrator speaking. Jetta's telepathy begins to kick in, as she could hear Debbie's mind clearly. Debbie thinking. He just ain't eaten it yet. Once he does, he's mine. Jetta. Pussy just tastes that good. I'll have Felix eaten all my meals whether you think it's kosher or not. He's a man I want, and I'll do anything to have him. Narrator speaking. Jetta's telepathy begins to tune out as she wished that she could hear a little more of her thoughts, as it could have been interpreted in several different ways, all under different prejudices. Especially seeing that she did nag her, and it's how an angry mind thinks. She realizes this, but the tone of it still sounded much like Chung Su's. She did not hear enough to know precisely what kind of a woman she was and what was her exact intentions. To know that, she had to be around her more often to get a better scope of her true character. Felix is in love with Debbie, and to him, she is the one he thinks he should spend the rest of his life with.
Shaddai speaking. Rude boy, as we talk a little bit more about Michael from time to time, I would continue the story. It must end here for now. As a part of the Canaan's love series, Michael is now narrating the past, which second episode this would include and comes next.
Jezebel, this Brixton queen, living a life like a backstreet dream, telling my lies when the truth was clear. I think she knew what I wanted to hear, spinning around like a wheel on fire, walking on tightrope and love's highway. Fatal attraction is where I'm at, there's no escaping me. I just wanna be close to you, and do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. I feel love when I'm lying in the midnight hour, holding you just like a dream. Love is never what it seems when we touch, and you're holding me the way you do. Girl, you make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true. I just wanna be close to you and do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. She was a Gemini on the cusp of Mars. She holds me back or she goes too far, winding me up just to let me down. So emotional, gagged and bound. There's more to this than meets the eye. A devil woman locked inside, with the full moon rising, I was scared. I think I was possessed. I just wanna be close to you and do all the things you want me to. the time your body's next to mine. Something deep inside of me wants to love you endlessly. When you touch, girl, you don't know how it makes me feel. I just can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's real. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. She had an attitude I can't explain. You never know if you're in frame. Tying me up with elastic words. I'm on a countdown till I get hurt. Her blood was hot, she burned so bright. A neon sign there in the night. It's hard to say if I went too far. My heart still bears a scar. I just wanna be close to you. I just wanna be close to you. I just she was a Jezebel, whispered slim queen, living a life like a backstreet dream, telling my lies when the truth was clear. I think she knew what I wanted to hear. Spinning around like a wheel on fire, walking on tightrope on love's highway. Fatal attraction is where I'm at. There's no escaping me. I wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close. I just wanna be close to you, baby, and show you the way I feel. I just wanna be close to you, baby, and do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you.
Narrator speaking. There's a scene change, and we are back on Earth. The date and year the author cannot directly tell, but it must be a bit before or after the year of 2005. It is during or after this time that he was hired as a computer technician, at least full-time, at the College of the Bahamas. Being attached to the desk of his boss Carla, he learns computer programming and other industry, like training, which was also not necessarily a part of his job description. Upon completing a bachelor's degree in the computer field, he later works for the college itself. The wages were not that high, but Michael somewhat loved his job, more so because of the bosses that he was under, and definitely not so much just for the pay. Apart from Carla, the other two bosses that he liked were Vernice Williams and Rudyard Burton. If he remembers correctly, Vernice was the main head of the computer department at that time. It was also around this time that Michael also completed his bachelor's degree and worked for the college full-time. One of his peers who worked with him, at least as a work-study student during his stay at the college, was someone by the name of Levardo Forbes. The essentials he learned from him as a pair was priceless. It was also through him that he learned about the basics of conspiracy theories, which he was steeped into at that time. It was through Levardo that he first learned that the worldview that one often holds is not necessarily the right one. You could call yourself a Christian and yet be in no better position than that of a Hindu, still worshipping a pagan god. Everything Levardo taught him still shook his worldview as he is introduced to the thought that even your beloved minister can be an agent of Satan. To Michael, those concepts were startling but new. There was another co-worker worthy of note, but because of the nature of things his name would be called Ren. Ren was not exactly the best of workers, but one day he set his eyes upon Michael. Rin accosted him and said that he had something that may be of interest to him. It was a printed booklet on how to worship Satan, which Michael explained in previous episodes, which grounds would not be discussed further. There was another worker there that Michael met for the first time by the name of Jason Green. Jason was a churchgoer, but strangely enough his church's worship time was on that of Saturday of all days. Evidently, he was a Seventh-day Adventist. Michael knew about them through other co-workers of a previous job while trying to make money to help pay his tuition. Jason asked him if he would visit his church, and Michael accepted. Through other workers on a previous job, Michael was directed to a TV station called 3ABN that spoke about the everlasting gospel and end-time prophecy. Michael was but a step away from becoming a Seventh-day Adventist, but also a step away from growing cold to it, as he had no clue of where to find a church near him of that faith or someone to walk him through it. Michael saw it as answered prayer, as Jason was not only taking him to church for a visit, but constantly. Listen to them talk on the way to church for the first time.
Jason speaking. I am glad to see that you're ready. Hop in and let's go to church.
Michael speaking. Nice ride. A stylish truck you have.
Jason speaking. Never mind the truck. Michael, where do you think you would be 20 or so years from now? Are you assured tomorrow? Suppose you were to die or something unexpected was to take place?
Michael speaking. I could only guess and hope that all would be well. Though I must admit I am not really sure of where I would spend eternity. I could only hope that things would work out.
Jason speaking. Well, a hope is indeed a good start, but I pray that it will not simply end with just such. In Christ and the keeping of His commandments there is an assurance of acceptance. It is said we conquer by faith alone, but let us not forget that faith without works is dead. But for the mere fact that you can still hope shows that you have not committed the unpardonable sin. Michael, it is very important that sin be put away. Do you understand this?
Michael speaking. Yes, I do. But tell me, what's the name of this church you're taking me to?
Jason speaking. It's called Centerville. The Centerville Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Michael speaking. Who's the pastor?
Jason speaking. A man by the name of Michael D. Tooth, soon to pass the baton to someone after him.
Michael speaking. Why? Is he old or something, and his son is taking over?
Jason speaking. In Seventh-day Adventism, pastors are rotated from church to church. This may seem strange, but it is to prevent one man from having his own way doctrinally as sole ownership in the vineyard. It prevents hierarchical decay, as the structure of church and conference must be protected. No one man but Christ should wield full control of the church body, acting as a pope. We have unions and presidents that are subject to process and change to preserve us from the changing tides and bombardments of Satan. Seventh-day Adventism is not only a place where men walk but angels. Michael, God loves His church. As with the Jews of old, so with us. The church is God's beloved. All commandment keepers living up to the light God sheds on His pathway is precious to Him. In any event, it looks like we are here.
Narrator speaking. Michael is around the age of 22 or 23. The last time he worshipped with a congregation must have been at the age of 7 or 10. When his father stopped going to church, the majority of the family followed that mold, and some even lost their faith, falling into the very hands of Satan, actually worshiping him. You never know how far you'll go once you reject God. Michael and Jason enjoy the service, and somewhere during that time Jason introduces him to some of his friends and even family. Michael somewhat knew and saw Rodman at the college at times working with him, but he really got to know him through Jason going to church with him. Michael goes to church with Jason for a few times, and one day, while upstairs, he spots a girl who seems ordinary, but to Michael she was very attractive. Asking Rodman who she was, he said that her name was Dornica Ritchie. Michael falls in love by the sight of her. Jason would often let Michael visit him after the Sabbath service and have a Sabbath meal and short discussion. Hear what some of those discussions were about. Michael at this point is new to Sabbath keeping, and his mind on that day drifts still on women and other worldly things primarily.
Michael speaking. Jason, I saw someone I really liked in the congregation by the name of Dornica Ritchie.
Jason speaking. I know her. So you really like her?
Michael speaking. Yes, more than you'll ever know. Jason, I sat next to her, and I watched her blow her nose, and I fell even more in love. Everything she does appeals to my curiosity. I like her poise, her frail frame, her simplistic beauty, and simply the sound of her voice. Hearing her talk melts me, Jason. I fantasize a deep, intimate relationship with her. I never courted nor have I been in a relationship, but I think she is the one I have been waiting for all my life. She is special, and I am watching her. I'm more than like her, I think I love her.
Jason speaking. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, Michael.
Michael speaking. In any event, I'm going next door to Rodman to hang. I'm glad you two live side by side. Michael speaking again. Rodman, are you home?
Rodman speaking. Oh yes. Yes. Make yourself at home and I will prepare something for you.
Narrator speaking. Michael sits in a chair with his feet placed upon another wooden chair when some of Rodman's relatives stops by. It was Joyce, his sister, along with her daughter Laverne Moxie. Joyce asks him why his feet is in the chair. Michael doesn't argue but removes it. Her daughter Laverne giggles at this simple situation. Michael takes her frame in as she has a Coca-Cola bottle-shaped body. Not that she is really shaped like a bottle, but it is just a saying that her female outline is appealing. They all sit down in the same room and talk with each other. This is the first time Michael recalls seeing Laverne. He says good day and things at that time is more natural compared to other times in the future. The irony of the matter is that in those days it was Laverne who was more quiet and Michael who was more outspoken. Michael more flowed while it was her who seemed to be lost for words. It seems that if Michael ever wants to be real or have something serious, he partially loses his mind and becomes stupid twice told. But when he is not serious, he is more of a blessing to himself and others and actual good luck, much like that of Joseph in the Bible. It seemed that when love is on the horizon, disaster and captivity is also on the horizon. This is just joking and supposition. Demons find that they could more rule the world if he falls in love and try more their luck around those avenues. If they gain Michael, they could make their appearing and enslave humanity. Or something like that. Don't take it serious. But then again, he's a triad penny. He could be good luck to heaven, good luck to humanity, but short-circuited with love, a weapon in the hands of that of evil forces and a very powerful one. But when you outlaw and make the penny null, it's only a matter of time that it will no longer work for you. Everyone gets rid of it not knowing its worth. Michael does not yet cast his eyes upon Laverne for love, because he is currently in the process of chasing Dornica, trying to gain her love and affection. All does not stay well, as behind the scene Michael has to deal with some unusual temptations as he was thrown into a secret society he later found is extremely antagonistic against Seventh-day Adventism and a menace to churches, period, as it suppresses those who begin to rise up in those quarters through blackmail and other evil plotting. How did he get into it? Well, his father was a government spy, as well as some in the family working together for different kinds of infiltration. When Michael received his degree at the college, Victor saw in him a certain potential that should not go wasted. Through him, he was carefully introduced into a secret society. He trusted it because it was his father who was also a part of it and some of the family. The code name of the society he will not mention, but it really does exist. Behind the scenes and out of view. It works through local government politics and is but small branch of something international. It covers just about every country in the world and is very serious with its business. Michael pledges his allegiance to it, not knowing who or what he was making a pledge to. He consents to be a spy for them of sorts, which means he cannot scruple or pick and choose on duties set before him. Michael entered into something larger than life, but he could not have imagined the things that they would ask. Well, the thing is, if you are going to be a religious person with a tender conscience, you should not enter these kinds of things. You should seek to find and pray for a way out. These are the issues and the basis for Canaan's love. To be continued. But stay tuned for the Maranatha reading.
The coming King is at the door, who once the cross for sinners borne, but now the righteous ones alone, he comes to gather home. At the door, 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 yes, even at the door, he is coming, he is coming, he is even at the door. The signs that show his coming near are fast fulfilling year by year, and soon will hail the glorious dawn of heaven's eternal morn. At the door, 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 yes, even at the door, he is coming, he is coming, he is even at the door. At the door, 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 yes, even at the door, he is coming again, he is coming again, he is even at the door. Look not on earth, for strife to cease, look not below for joy and peace, until the Savior comes again to banish death and sin. At the door, 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 yes, even at the door, he is coming again, he is coming again, he is even at the door.
June 5th. The image to the beast set up. He deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast. Revelation 13 verse 14. The image of the beast will be formed before probation closes, for it is to be the great test for the people of God, by which their eternal destiny will be decided. In Revelation 13 this subject is plainly presented. I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Then the miracle-working power is revealed, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This is the test that the people of God must have before they are sealed. All who prove their loyalty to God by observing his law and refusing to accept a spurious Sabbath will rank under the banner of the Lord God Jehovah and will receive the seal of the living God. Those who yield the truth of heavenly origin and accept the Sunday Sabbath will receive the mark of the beast. While John was shown the last great struggles of the church with earthly powers, he was also permitted to behold the final victory and deliverance of the faithful. Looking beyond the smoke and din of the battle, he beheld a company upon Mount Zion with the Lamb, having, instead of the mark of the beast, the Father's name written in their foreheads. June 8th, the spirits and the Sunday law issue. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Isaiah 8 verse 20. The miracle-working power manifested through spiritualism will exert its influence against those who choose to obey God rather than men. Communications from the spirits will declare that God has sent them to convince the rejectors of Sunday of their error, affirming that the laws of the land should be obeyed as the law of God. They will lament the great wickedness in the world and second the testimony of religious teachers that the degraded state of morals is caused by the desecration of Sunday. Great will be the indignation excited against all who refuse to accept their testimony. Those who oppose the teachings of spiritualism are assailing, not men alone, but Satan and his angels. They have entered upon a contest against principalities and powers and wicked spirits in high places. Satan will not yield 1 inch of ground except as he is driven back by the power of heavenly messengers. The people of God should be able to meet him, as did our Savior, with the words, "It is written." Satan can quote scripture now, as in the days of Christ, and he will pervert its teachings to sustain his delusions. Those who would stand in this time of peril must understand for themselves the testimony of the scriptures. Many will be confronted by the spirits of devils personating beloved relatives or friends and declaring the most dangerous heresies. These visitants will appeal to our tenderest sympathies and will work miracles to sustain their pretensions. We must be prepared to withstand them with the Bible truth that the dead know not anything, and that they who thus appear are the spirits of devils. Satanic agencies in human form will take part in this last great conflict to oppose the building up of the kingdom of God. And heavenly angels in human guise will be on the field of action. The two opposing parties will continue to exist till the closing up of the last great chapter in this world's history. June 10th. How the image to the beast evolves. He exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Revelation 13 verse 12. In order for the United States to form an image of the beast, the religious power must so control the civil government that the authority of the state will also be employed by the church to accomplish her own ends. The image to the beast represents that form of apostate Protestantism which will be developed when the Protestant churches shall seek the aid of the civil power for the enforcement of their dogmas. When Sunday observance shall be enforced by law, and the world shall be enlightened concerning the obligation of the true Sabbath, then whoever shall transgress the command of God, to obey a precept which has no higher authority than that of Rome, will thereby honor popery above God. He is paying homage to Rome and to the power which enforces the institution ordained by Rome. He is worshiping the beast and his image. As men then reject the institution which God has declared to be the sign of his authority, and honor in its stead that which Rome has chosen as the token of her supremacy, they will thereby accept the sign of allegiance to Rome, the mark of the beast. And it is not until the issue is thus plainly set before the people, and they are brought to choose between the commandments of God and the commandments of men, that those who continue in transgression will receive the mark of the beast. In the issue of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes: those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. Although church and state will unite their power to compel all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, Revelation 3 verse 16, to receive the mark of the beast, yet the people of God will not receive it. The prophet of Patmos beholds them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, and singing the song of Moses and the Lamb. Revelation 15 verses 2 and 3.